or any clarification is required, or the CCRA taxonomy? Any doubts? Can anybody tell me what do you mean by CCRA taxonomy? Students, is there any doubts regarding the CCRA architecture and taxonomy?
No, sir.
Okay, now can you tell me what do you mean by the CCRA taxonomy? How many levels are there, Raju?
Sir, there are 4 levels, which tells us how the internal, sir, what is the service providing, what is the rules, activities in the cloud.
So what is there in
Uh,
level 1?
so in the level 1, we have rules, sir.
Then level
Sir,
2,
rules, the activities.
activities, and level 3,
I think components.
and level 4.
Sir, level 4. I don't remember, sir.
Level 4 is sub-component basically.
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay, now what do you mean by this? What are the components of this cloud broker?
Service intermediation, service aggregation, and service arbitrage.
Okay. And what are the components of cloud carrier?
So it provides the connectivity.
Provides the connectivity. Okay, fine. So today our main discussion is on the OpenStack. So OpenStack is basically a software which will help you to create your own cloud platform. Means whether sometimes what happens that for a big company, if they want to create their cloud environment in from different cloud service provider, they find out that one cloud services will be suitable. If they take it from Azure, one cloud services, if they take it from your IBM cloud, or if the cloud service is taken from AWS, some of them. So that case, it happens that to workflow is become an issue. That some of the cloud services are there in Azure, some of the cloud services are there in IBM cloud, some of the cloud services are there in AWS. So to transfer the data from one cloud service provider to another cloud service provider, it becomes a huge issue. So to get out of this, what we do that the companies, what they can do that, because they cannot do the customization as per their requirement when they go for the the public cloud services. Okay, so if they want to create their own private cloud, or if they want to utilize their infrastructure efficiently, that case they can go for creating their own private cloud using the OpenStack. Even the public cloud service providers are also goes to the OpenStack to create their own infrastructure. So OpenStack is basically a software tools, is a set of software tools for building and managing cloud computing platform for public cloud as well as private cloud. So it's an open source. It's an open source platform managed by OpenStack Foundation community. Now, even right now, different companies like Red Hat also are taking the OpenStack community and they improvise it to create the OpenStack platform. Means that is called Red Hat OpenStack. Okay, and it is a non-profit one. And what they do that they basically suppose if I give an example of our lab itself, where if you consider our IBM lab. So do you know what are the infrastructure of our IBM lab? IBM लैब का एक एक सिस्टम का कॉन्फ़िगरेशन क्या है? So one system consists of 12 GB of RAM, 1 TB of hard disk drive, and 4 virtual CPU. 4 virtual CPU. This is not virtual CPU. 4 CPU. That is actually i5 processor. i5 processor. Okay. Now, what is the utilization of this IBM lab? What is the utilization of each system, each machine of IBM lab? Can anybody tell me? What is the utilization? Right now, the utilization is 0%. Yes or no? Do you agree it or not?
Yes, sir.
Huh? Why? Because no student is there to do the lab classes. Now, suppose if the physical lab classes are happening regularly, that case also, can you tell me what is the proper utilization of IBM lab?
Sir, maybe 25%.
Yeah, 35%.
Maybe 30 to 40%.
35%, yes. Because if you take it 24 hours a day, that case, how many hours it remains open if all the students used to work in the IBM lab? They will remain keep it open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. only. Before 9 a.m. nobody is going to work in the IBM lab, or after 5 p.m. also nobody is going to work in the IBM lab. So only 8 hours you are working out of 24 hours. So here it comes around 1/3 percentage of efficiency, right? Your utilization. इसमें तुम्हारा 30% हो जाता है. That means we are not utilizing that lab properly, because 35% is the lowest utilization level, whereas the highest utilization level is almost 70%. जो actual utilization होना चाहिए था उसका half भी नहीं हो पा रहा है. Now, how to make the proper utilization of the IBM lab? That is the first question. And second question is, does all the machines are every time utilized properly? Because it is unlikely that all the machines are occupied by the students every time. Yes or no? It is very unlikely that all the students are occupied by all the students every time. So that case, one solution that we can keep is that let us create a cloud platform, a private cloud platform. Even the last to last years, students have created the private cloud using OpenStack of IBM Lab. We can create a private cloud platform where all the systems, because in IBM Lab, how many computers are there? 40 computers are there. 40 computers are there. Now we will virtually integrate all the 40 computers together. Now if I virtually integrate all the 40 computers together into a single computer, that case one virtual computer will be created, one virtual server will be created, where which is equivalent to 12 GB into 40, because 40 computers all RAMs I am accumulating. Then how much RAM I will accumulate? 480 GB, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
1 TB into 40. That means I am accumulating 40 TB of hard disk space. 4 CPU into 40. That means 160 CPU I am accumulating. Right. Now, after accumulating, I will create a huge virtual server where which will consist of 480 GB of RAM, 40 TB of hard disk space HDD, and 160 CPU. Now this will be incorporated, this virtual machine will be incorporated within an it will be considered as a virtual machine within a single machine. Means that any one of the IBM Lab machine I will consider, where if you open it through OpenStack, if you configure it through OpenStack, you'll find out you have 480 GB of total RAM is present, 480 TB of hard disk space is present, and 160 CPUs are present. From that, you take your components to create your own machine. Means that you are taking your components, means suppose the multiple numbers of users have been given the permission to access this OpenStack, and you can create your own virtual machine from that OpenStack for 24/7. Means that those who are present within our campus, they will log into our system in through OpenStack, and then they can request for a virtual machine. Suppose I want a virtual machine of 64 GB of RAM, 2 TB of hard disk, because these are required for my project, and suppose 8 CPU, 8 virtual CPU. Now this 64 GB of RAM and 2 TB of hard disk and 8 virtual CPU will be given to you from this total amount of storage space. Now when this is allocated, this one will be allocated to you. That case your virtual machine RAM capacity will be reduced to 480 minus 64. How much it will be? Can anybody tell me? It will be 416 GB, right? And 40 TB minus 2 TB, it will become 38 TB. Similarly, 160 CPU minus 8 CPU, it will become 152 CPU. Now the other students can again access for or request for the resources from this machine. So in this way, I can give access or I can give allow the students or the users to create their own virtual machine, not from the public cloud. They can create the virtual machine only from our existing resources. Got my point? So in that way, students can sit and work from their hostel itself in the OpenStack platform and by creating their virtual machine. Now your resource utilization will be used for 24/7, and your resource utilization will be increased manifold. You got my point? Any questions,
Yes,
student?
sir. सर मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है, मतलब जैसे कि किसी ने 64 GB रैम लिया है बट वो यूज नहीं कर रहा, तो दूसरा को चाहिए तो क्या कर सकते हैं, मतलब दूसरा किसी।
हाँ, वो भी कर सकते हैं, बट इट विल नॉट बी डन ऑटोमेटिकली लाइक दैट वी आर डूइंग इन केस ऑफ एडब्ल्यूएस। एडब्ल्यूएस में क्या होता है, जब मैंने देखता हूँ कि मेरा यूटिलाइजेशन 30% के नीचे हो रहा है, एडब्ल्यूएस विल ऑटोमेटिकली ड्रॉप डाउन your resources automatically. You don't have to do anything. But in that case, there will be a administrator. Administrator will check that whether after taking the resources, whether you are utilizing it properly or not. If you are not utilizing it, that case the admin can take action to stop access to its resources. Okay, वो admin को ही करना पड़ेगा.
तो
Admin
मैनुअली।
can see. हाँ, मैनुअली करना पड़ेगा इसका. इवन कोई किसी ने अगर 64 GB मांग रहा है, then he has to give the justification that why he needed this 64 GB, right?
यस सर।
Okay. Now the OpenStack consists of different components. Okay, because the OpenStack is a totally what should I say? It is a totally flexible platform. So and different types of components are there. You can add those components as per your requirement, and whenever it is not required, you can move those components. So OpenStack is made up of many different moving parts. Because of its open nature, anyone can add additional components to OpenStack based on their requirements. But the OpenStack community has collaboratively identified 9 key components. There are total 9 key components are there. So you need to remember all those key components because these are asked in the exam. 9 key components. So these are actually core components. Apart from this, there are other sub-components are also there. So which are distributed as a part of any OpenStack systems and officially maintained by OpenStack community. Okay, so one component is called Nova. Then Swift, then Cinder, Neutron, Horizon, Keystone. You please write down those components. Glance, Ceilometer, Heat. So Nova is the primary computing engine behind the OpenStack. It is used for deploying and managing the large number of virtual machine and other instances to handle the computing task. So it is basically quite like cloud orchestrator, means that the user will ask for the resources. Now Nova will check and then it will allocate the resources for deploying and managing the large number of virtual machine. Okay. So Nova is the primary compute engine for deploying and managing large numbers of virtual machine. And other instances to handle the computing task. Next is Swift. Swift is basically storage system. So basically those 9 components are basically the different components that are used to create your virtual machine. Like Nova is will help you to create your computing engine. Swift will help you to create your storage system. Cinder will help you to create your block storage system like your S3 and EFS. Okay. Neutron will provide you the networking system or the networking capability. Horizon is the dashboard, the total dashboard. You can see that what are the systems are running, what is the you can monitor the systems, metering and everything. Okay, and Keystone is providing you the identity services like IAM policy services, same as IAM policy. Glance will provide you the image services if you want to create a image, so that if by any means if one of your servers gets down, suppose ये जो 40 computers को तुम virtually connect कर रहे हो, suppose if any one of the computers gets down due to power failure भी हो सकता है. Now that case, how from image Glance will create one image of your server. So how you can take the backup of your entire server from that image. So for that, the Glance is basically help you. Okay, Ceilometer will provide you the telemetry services, and heat is the main orchestration component of the OpenStack. So it is basically like the different components having their own functionality. Okay, so the Nova part, I think it is clear to you, student.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now the Swift, just a minute. So Swift is a system that will help you to create object and file storage system. Create object and file storage system. Whereas Cinder is a system to help you to create block storage system. Neutron provides network capability of for OpenStack. So Nova, Swift, Cinder, Neutron, it's clear, right? Now what is Horizon? Horizon is basically provide you the dashboard of the OpenStack. Next is your Keystone. Keystone provides identity services. Like AWS provides the identity services through which services? Can you tell me?
Sir, I am.
IAM. So it is quite like IAM. Then your Glance.
एक मिनट, तो ये कहाँ से बोल रहे थे वो TPMS का कुछ
बाद
क्लास
में बात करते हैं, क्लास हो जाने दीजिए, क्लास चल रहा है अभी।
ये वाला मैं एजेंडा इसमें मीटिंग वाले मेल में लिख दूं कि सब्जेक्ट एलोकेशन
सब्जेक्ट नहीं, अभी लिखने का जरूरत नहीं है
मीटिंग में
नहीं मीटिंग में ये लिखो कि फैकल्टी
वर्कलोड और ये
एक्टिविटी एंड BOS। So it provides the telemetry services. So telemetry is basically the billing services, same thing that you do in case of your billing services. Okay. It provides orchestration services. Provides the orchestration. What do you mean by orchestration? Can anybody tell me? So in the cloud service components, we have told.
Sir, mainly decides which services will be provided to which user.
So it actually allocates the resources, associate the resources, it monitors the services, and also it approves provisioning and configuration part also. So everything is done by the head. Now you can see over here in our CCRA architecture, what are the main components is written that there should be one service provisioning, storage provisioning system. There should be one networking provisioning system. There should be one CPU provisioning system. There should be one, in case of storage also, block storage, file storage, and even all kinds of storage provisioning systems are also there. Even you should have a dashboard and also the orchestration system. So in case of your OpenStack also, you can find out that they are providing all kinds of services through those 9 components. You can check. Okay, so those 9 components is basically as per your CCRA architecture also. So whatever be there in your CCRA architecture, the same thing is also there in those 9 components. So please go through these 9 components. If there is any question, you can ask me. I will go into detail of this entire OpenStack architecture in the next class. So by this, if you have any question, you can ask me.